everyone. This is the Guru of Inspiration, Michelle Hammond, and I am listening to the Luncheon with Lisa show. Come on in and join me, y'all.
You are now listening to Luncheon with Lisa show.
Well, all right. Hey, this is Prince Dejour, and you're listening to the Lunching with Lisa show. You gotta love it.
Hello, everybody. It is the Luncheon with Lisa show, and this is the last show in the Love series. So for you all that have been tuning in all month for February, we started off with self-love, and then we moved into romantic love because Valentine's Day was coming up. And then we moved on to love thy neighbor. Great conversation. We have enjoyed all the shows. There have been some great tips and I think some great takeaways that people can use in life in general. I know I learned a lot. And I am excited that tonight we're talking about computer love. So I know some of you are asking, what is computer love all about? So this show is kind of motivated by I've been seeing a whole lot of stuff out here on social media. TikTok, to be specific, but you got Facebook, you got Instagram, you got TikTok, whatever. And I'm seeing a whole lot of hate, not a lot of love. We are just hating on each other. The men versus women conversation, rather, is gotten so, well, you know, my word is raggedy, but it's just awful to watch us going at each other. We got conversations like modern women versus traditional women. They out there calling men simps. Because they support women and their thoughts. If you agree with the woman, you automatically, it's crazy out here. So I actually wanted to open up, Luncheon with Lisa platform, because I think some of these folks is out here lunching. So it was perfect. Okay, Luncheon with Lisa, and we're gonna talk about this computer love. So I asked my team, those who could join me tonight, to come in, join the conversation, and this is going to be an open platform tonight. So if you're interested in joining in, hey, Lynette, all the way from North Carolina, thank you so much for your continued support. Love you. If you're interested in getting the link and joining us and joining the conversation for a little bit, we'll swap people in and out. But if you want to come in and say a few words and let's talk about it, that's what I want. But I will say this, for those who want to come on, just know that I want us to actually walk away with some suggestions on how we can do better. I'm always for solutions. So that's what we're going to be doing tonight. But before we get started with that, I just wanted to give you some highlights of what's going down, what Lisa's working on. So I wanted to share with you for this Saturday, those who live in the DMV area, please, if you're not doing anything, bring your families down to the Black History Month Festival 2023. It's at the Prince George's County Sports and Learning Complex. Please come out and visit. This is a free event for family. There's a lot of things going on. It starts at, I believe, 11 a.m. to 4:30. I will be speaking at that event. I'm really excited about it. I also have a table to sell my books and things. So please come on down and join us. But there's so many vendors and other things going on down there. I think it'll be a great way to spend the day with your family. So I hope to see you there this Saturday. I also wanted to let you know there are a couple of projects that I'm working on. One of them is Imperfectly Fierce and Focused collaboration book. I am excited to be part of this project in two ways. Touched by Dove Publishing is honored to actually help Ms. Keever, who is a visionary, get this out. It's fierce. I'm excited about it. And I'm also, because I was so excited about it, want to be a part of the project. So I'm a co-author. So please, you all stay tuned. If you're still interested, you can get in touch with Keever. But this is going to be a great project coming out this year. So I'm excited about that. And I also wanted to share that Dr. Tashika Green is doing a 52-week journal, and it's about exceeding, discovering, recovering, and releasing. This is going to be fabulous for those who like to actually kind of map out what's going to happen in their year. You gotta plan for these things and make room for your gifts. So I'm loving what she's doing. She's always walking in excellence. She's a woman of virtue, and I'm excited to do the forward. And it's an absolute honor to do the forward of anybody's book project. So I'm excited about that. So please keep in tune, stay in tune with us and watch for that. And last but not least, I am actually going to be one of the speakers for the Passion, Purpose, and Peace Summit. The visionary is Dr. Teresa Mosley. I'm excited about that. I'm going to be talking about the power of words, and are we helping to heal or to hurt, which locks in perfectly to what we're talking about tonight, what we've been talking about all month. So with that being said, I have Shariva with me, and we're gonna get in some real conversation. We're gonna try not to get into necessarily name dropping shows that are out there, but we're gonna talk about the content of them. So like I said, if you are interested in the link and want to join us, please feel free to join us and let's have a conversation. Thank you for joining us, Michelle, and I see Lynette. Thank you from North Carolina. So yeah, Shariva will send you the link if you want to come on in. So this is what I have witnessed. And Shariva, you tell me what you've seen. I know sometimes I see things that are just so outrageous that I'm just like, I gotta call somebody and say, are y'all looking at what's going on? But it's also a scary moment as well, because I'm listening to conversations that are clear divides. So instead of us coming together to have meaningful conversation, healthy conversation, we're busy telling each other what we need to do to get us.
Mm-hmm.
When did that become the conversation instead of asking questions? We have, they talk about, I'm hearing all kind of, and these are all catchphrases that I'm hearing: passport boys, simps, modern women versus traditional women. Modern women ain't nothing, or it's nonsense. And I say nonsense not to be disrespectful to other people, but in the in the context of the conversations, there's so much hate spewing. It's not conversation that's meaningful. It's not anything that's going to help anybody.
Right.
We got men telling women that they doing it wrong. We got women telling men that they doing it wrong, instead of us coming together. And I remember, Shariva, we did a show with Prince Dejour about who rules the world, boys or girls. And we had some great conversation with couples, new, old alike. And everybody had different ideas, but we gave people ideas and tips, and maybe you can try this and do this. And that's what I want this forum to be. Look like we have a guest that's going to join us, but I wanted to talk about it. Like, Shariva, what are you seeing out there in the computer world? Love computer, but as far as this hate versus love, because TikTok is outrageous. But talk to me about.
I mean, I totally agree with you. I feel like there's a lot of foolishness out here. I feel like there's a lot of, granted, the conversations are very interesting, and it's very interesting to hear so many different types of opinion, especially when you talked about the different types of names, the simps, all these other names. First of all, I never even knew what half that stuff was, and I'm just like, what are we talking about here? And then once you get deep down into it, I'm just like, what? And then the big discussion that I swear I was seeing all over TikTok, Instagram, all social media was about should we be playing, like, if you're with someone, should it be 50-50? I'm like, why is this conversation? Right? Well, I mean, people be going hard back and forth. It is like, and then they destroy friendships, destroy these relationships because you go so hard for your opinion. But I'm like, it's your opinion. Like, you can't, I mean, that's just how they feel about it. We're going to agree to disagree. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
You have to put those things and roll with it. Go ahead.
Well, El Michelle, look, thank you for joining us all the way from North Carolina. Thank you for always supporting us. We see you and try to show you love, so you know it. We love to have you come in here and talk to us. But yeah, the hot topic is what is going on this internet. I think people are hiding behind these keyboards, but we don't have to do that. It's like as soon as I think we're coming together, then I go on. I swear every day I'm going on TikTok and I'm like, there's some really angry, hurt people out here that got a mic in their hand. So
Oh, most definitely.
that's the scary part, because then other hurt, angry people listen to hurt, angry people, and then you get your amen crew, and then they put a mic in their hand. So even though we're saying it's ridiculous, it gets louder, and then other people get slanted to that. So what are you witnessing out here, and what do you think is maybe a solution to it?
Well, one, I think it's like their alter ego.
Okay.
They can't do it in front of other people that will probably read them. So what they do is they hide behind the ring light, they hide behind the camera, or they just hide behind the only more than 15, what was it, 15 seconds of fame or
Mm-hmm.
15 minutes. They'll get that 15 seconds, 60 seconds, 30 seconds, or 3 minutes, and no one else is out there to hear them. So what they do is they just hide behind it. I think it's come a long way to where now they're starting to crack down on. I think it's something going on now. Correct me, with Google, because somebody was killed because of something they saw on on one of the sites, and now the parents are now trying to come after them. I think for us, it's just what we try to do is try to be transparent and authentic,
Mm-hmm.
and really try to keep it real. But you have folks that they hide behind. It's like hiding behind the mask. Let me
Right.
hide behind this camera. Let me just get on there and just say whatever. No fact checking, no definite information, no concrete, nothing, but you're just out there to just try to get as many views. You try to get as many likes, and you try to get the next one that will listen.
Right.
So I
Right.
think it gives a bad light for us that are trying to do it the right way. Now, I'm
Right.
not saying that we're perfect, nor do we try to be perfect, because I'll be the first one to say my views and my opinions are of El Michelle.
Right.
They're not of Dove Style. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and
And people,
it's okay if it's the same or different, but you're right. Sharif mentioned that before, that it's not even about the content. It's not even about us trying to help people to move closer together and learn to understand and communicate better. We usually are trying to have some kind of goal met, like
hmm
can we have better conversations? Can we this? But right now, really, the motivation is how many likes. And I'm willing to say whatever to get the like, even though inside internally, I think that's when people punish themselves, because when what you're saying is not only just incorrect, but you also know when you're hurting other people. And the irresponsible thing is that you're putting this out there for people who are hurt and they're angry, they're not thinking straight, and you
hmm
saying it for likes, but then they're grabbing that and embracing it, and then they're reacting to it, and you already know is that it don't even make sense, but you just trying to get somebody else to be like, I know that's right, or they're looking for the controversy in it. So the more controversial it is, then the more likes, and maybe somebody will see it. And instead of, you realize that every time you sit in front of a mic, or every time you're in front of any kind of audience, you are influencing people.
oh, most definitely.
May not be strong enough to handle what you're saying. They may misinterpret what you're saying. So you have to be mindful. And what I'm witnessing is most people don't seem to be being responsible. Like,
No, and then also just saying, for instance, say that we're now part of Dove Style magazine. You know what I'm saying? Or we're part of your network. It is up to you to check us or pull us off, just
absolutely.
because we might be getting a whole lot of ratings and you know for a fact that we're saying stuff that or whatever. Now this falls on you because we're part of your network and your platform. It's up for you
to spot you. Now, if you don't, then whatever happens, what comes out of my mouth, what comes out of her mouth, this on you, because you
Exactly.
knew that we were whatever, but just because the ratings look good and making you look good, and you don't want a couple of awards and everything. But guess what? At the end of the day, somebody is watching somebody. Like right now, I probably got 4 or 5 people that you don't see, but is watching you all talk. And I keep
Mhm.
telling everybody, watch what you say, because somebody is watching you, somebody is watching you,
Always.
Absolutely.
and they
Always.
don't get it until
Always.
somebody spot checks them, fat checks them on the street. I meant what you said, blah blah blah, and now we got a whole nother beast that's came to life. But you
Oh,
wanted to just
so I even from just being out on TikTok and kind of watching that some of these conversations that they're having in these rooms, to me, I absolutely agree with you said, El Michelle. A lot of this is ego driven. It feels good to be able to boss some around because this now has become your room, so to speak, and you do have a responsibility. The problem is that people are taking advantage of the
yes.
responsibility you have in the room. So what happens is people come in the room and now you make the rules. So we're not having healthy conversations because depending on where you are, when someone comes into your room and they don't agree with you or they say something you don't like, you get to say, moderators, put them out of here. So
Block party.
then it's like, so you're never hearing something different than what you're telling yourself. And to
Yeah.
me, you're stunting your own growth. So now you're not even open to listening to other people if they're not aligned with what you feel like they should be saying. And
Oh,
that's
most definitely.
dangerous because you're only creating a room of you. You know what I'm saying? Like, wouldn't you want to have a conversation where there are different opinions in the room? I mean, how else
Some
do
people
you?
like that me by me conversation.
Right. Me find me, right? If that was a sorority or fraternity, right? So, I mean, I just think that people need to be more responsible, and I think that they don't get it. They're not
Mhm.
realizing, because it's hard to sit in front of this screen and realize that there could be hundreds of people out there.
No, they think it's easy.
Well,
People
but
don't
it's
people don't
easy,
get it. It's very hard, y'all. For y'all that are listening,
right?
it takes a lot of self-discipline. It takes a lot of determination with us, because when you don't know what we're going through, then we have to come and now project a topic, a conversation. I don't know what my guest is going through, and y'all think this is easy. It takes a lot of time, and not just the three of us. If you have rehearsed in front of your mirror, please raise both hands.
Well, but
But you know what I mean? It's not easy.
it's not easy for those who are doing it in a responsible way. So
Exactly.
it's real easy for those who get out there, and if you think about it, when you're looking into a screen, you just looking at a couple of people. Everybody else are just letters in the comments. So you don't
You talk
realize
real big behind the phone
exactly.
and chat.
You don't realize the magnitude of all the people that you don't see. So you're not seeing, um, you know, you're not seeing Joe in the corner who's really struggling today, scrolled onto TikTok looking for some kind of inspiration to pull him out.
Mm-hmm.
And yet he runs across your TikTok or your stream or your Facebook, and now he's gone even further down because of the negative energy in the room. Because you
Exactly.
didn't manage it well, or somebody in there who was hurt and shouldn't have had a mic in their hand. And maybe I'm not right for saying that, but I
Keep
just
it
think
real.
we need to be careful when we receive. Everybody wants the mic, but it is responsibilities that come with it. So
I
yeah,
also
go ahead,
agree
Sharita.
with you. I
I
agree.
agree
I
too.
also think that I think sometimes people like to see the arguments on their
Right,
page because it's going to bring in more views. Oh, did
right.
you see them? They arguing on this so and so page, and then all of a sudden the views are going up. So I think the host gets real quiet. So because all they're doing is pay attention into the views and the folks coming in the room. So they're just like revving it up, and I'm just like, this. Why are y'all even arguing? It could be something
And
over
people
so
are
minor.
subscribing to these pages.
Mhm.
You got moderators in rooms, and I mean, it's a whole world out there on TikTok. I am absolutely amazed Every time I go out there, some people are on TikTok from early morning. You can go
Oh
back
yeah, all
in
day
the
long.
evening. They're
Are they still
still on
there?
TikTok. I'm like curious, like where does anybody work anymore? Like how does this happen? How can you be on TikTok? And don't get me wrong, there are some amazing things out on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, or whatever. But I'll just keep it to social media in general, because I'm not really saying. But I'm in all of them watching, and I pulled a lot of positive things on TikTok. I have a TikTok moment every end of show. But so and I've learned some really good positive things on TikTok. But what concerned me was the hate that I'm seeing. And I just feel like it's so and of course this is my opinion, you all, but I just feel like that it's so unnecessary with all
Yeah,
that
it is.
through, even in the last few years. Where are y'all even finding the time to hate? And how are we judging people for a different path? Married, single, modern, traditional, to me, whatever it is, if you're not overlapping in some area, everybody's, either been single, maybe been in a relationship, married. We've crossed the line on all of those. So we can all add some value to a conversation instead of dictating to people how you should be if you're this, how you should be if you're that. If you agree with them and they're opposite of what I say, then you need to get out of my life because I don't want to hear your voice anymore. Like, I don't know. It's just how much more immature can we be on these computers? Like, I like computers, I like the internet, but it opens a whole nother can of worms to just straight foolishness.
Yeah.
I'm
And
just
Yeah, I've actually a couple times I went to Facebook jail. Um,
me
I
too,
was
girl.
like,
Me too.
yes, I have my own cell block, but I sent them a letter, and I go hard on them. Like, I can tell you how many times I done seen y'all got people killing cats and harming animals and doing this smack, and here I got a conversation, and you don't know who you just messed up. You just stopped me from talking to somebody that maybe I could have said a word that they know my life story here, and they going through, and then all of a sudden you want to block me because of what? And I said, well, when I get when you receive my invoice because of how much money I done missed out on, and my show better be on by a certain time back live. But you don't know who's being, like you said, we don't know who's being affected. We don't know by one phrase we could have said, somebody could have been
That's
thinking
right.
something like, wow, they went through that, I can make it. Because I get
That's
that
right.
like all the time, all the stuff I've been through, and I'm still here.
Right.
And I tell everybody, I love my hater nation, but the majority of people that are watching really are our haters. And I tell them, thank you for watching because I love the numbers.
Right.
You know,
Right.
if you buy my books, you ain't get no refund. So thank you. You know,
Well, and
so
sometimes I think that they're not even haters. They're just, I think people are curious. Some
nosy. Oh, I'm
people
sorry.
are I think they're fascinated with things that they wish they could do, and they're watching somebody else do it and wondering where you get your courage from. And sometimes, I learned through other previous conversations I had that sometimes people see your successes as their failures.
Pretty
Um,
much. Yes, I
so
agree.
internalize the fact that if they see you where you are, the fact that they're not there, that translates to I failed, which is not true. But like you said, you can't control where people go with the information they receive. And a lot of times they're not saying anything. But it angers them, and they're not going, a lot of people ain't gonna get mad at themselves. So it comes out to whoever, and they don't really understand. You're not even really hating on this person. You're probably admiring them, but you feel so low about the fact that you're not there that then that other attitude comes in, like, well, I mean, whatever, or and then those are the people that I think get mics in their hand, so they
Mhm.
go out there, and now it's vent nation. Okay, so I say vent and rant nation. They are out here and they on a mission to say, forget y'all, I don't like y'all. Even people that are being blessed on all kinds of levels. What concerns me is when they go out on social media, you can clearly see that they've had some really wonderful things happening in their lives. and they're spending their whole time while they live and have everyone's attention talking about, you don't have to like me. That's what you got out of that. That's what you got. I don't understand it. It's like it's still something with you then. So that goes to show that you can even be blessed and not realize that you're sitting on your blessing. So you blocking still. It's been given to you and you wasting it with putting your middle finger up at people saying, yeah, how you like me now? Is that necessary? Like, how does that make you feel after you do that? What are you getting out of it? Because I do feel like that people do things to get out of it, whether it's attention, the numbers. Some people like to argue. They like the, like Sharifa said, they love the back and forth. Hey Charlene, thank you for joining. If you want to join in and talk about all the negativity that's out there on social media, on these platforms, but it's sad to watch, and I think that's what I was getting to. The reason why I wanted to talk about it. It's sad to watch, and I really hope that when we leave here tonight, we can just maybe talk about what can we do. Okay, because we can't solve every problem. We can stay the course of what we come out here to do. Um, I'm not even out here to challenge anybody on what they talking about. I will say I've invited a couple of the TikTokers that I saw that had some really positive platforms. I invited them to come over and let's talk about it, because I was like, I really like, what you're talking about. But I don't know if the TikTok world is just a whole different world and they were like, please, I mean, you're on Facebook. I
Think
don't
if
know.
they're not getting paid on
Well,
some coinage.
that's probably
Yeah,
it.
no.
But it's sad because they have some really, the conversations were great.
Oh
And
yeah.
I just felt like that when you really are in it to help people and to get people on the right track, I'm all for a conversation. Let's do it. But what do you all suggest as what are some things that we can do as people who, El Michelle, you have show, you go live, you have a lot of the books and things like that. What can we do for whatever lane we're in to kind of counteract all the negativity that's out here in the world? What can we do?
For anybody that's doing it, great accountability partners.
Okay.
And reason why that, and mentors, because if you don't talk about it, you'll wind up being a pressure cooker.
Mm,
And then now you're going to be one of the ones. F this, y'all don't mean nothing to me. But now you lost your whole vision.
right.
You're one of my accountability partners. It's, it's, you have to have that. You have to have like a soundboard or a springboard to bounce off ideas, or if you're getting negative stuff, how to counteract, like the naysayers. You got
Mm,
to have that balance of a group of people that are in the same, that are being transparent and say, look here, hey, you got to stay focused. You can't let them. Don't worry about the numbers. Don't worry. Just worry about your content. Make sure that you're leaving a positive message.
that's right.
I can't stress that enough. You got y'all. I don't care, even if you're not doing what we're doing. Have a great support team
Mm-hmm.
that know when you're falling. Can, if you have a question, at least I can call you. You know what I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
and bounce off something to you. It, to me, it's all about having accountability partners and having mentors. I can't stress that enough. It will save a lot.
I love that. And I would actually say, I think that what pretty much, along the lines with what you were saying, is to stay focused on your mission, because we can get sidetracked with what other people are doing, and they get into these competitions, and like you said, as long as I'm reaching one person, or if I know that later on one person will be able to see what I did, go ahead, push the record button, get it out there. And I try to stay positive in everything that I do. But I will say, and I wanted to speak to those people who maybe go out there on TikTok, go out there on Instagram, and out here on Facebook, and you're triggered by a lot of these conversations. I mean, I have to admit that when I'm out there and I'm looking, I feel a sense of sadness, because although they're talking with this arrogance and like they know everything, and they're angry and they're dogging out women or they're dogging out men, I feel a sense of sadness. Like, what makes you, because that drains any kind of energy like that to me, just drains you. You're exhausted when you're just spewing all this negativity. It makes you ever seen somebody when they worked up, they just start getting all red and they get all huffed up or whatever. So I feel sad for them because I'm like, what makes you go there as opposed to letting stuff roll off your shoulders? Not saying it's easy, but to kind of piggyback on what you said, I just think that the people who are out here being responsible have to keep stay the course. The kind of thing, I think I'm just kind of saying, you got to stay the course. It can get distracting. I know I've gotten triggered when I'm watching and I want to go in and ask questions like, why are we having this kind of conversation? Like, why
I thought
is
I
it?
was seeing things.
I know sometimes I want to
Sorry.
say, why are you? And here's the thing. So let me ask you this.
I'm
So
sorry, Lisa. I was trying to stay focused, but somebody
no,
said
this is like on
something
a
fly
funny
back.
note. I will dip into a live and say, what I do now is, because the other part is I don't want you to block me, because then I feel like I'm losing that line of communication to be able to say what I'm trying not to say, because I don't want you to get to block me. So it's like this ever ending circle of, oh, I really want to say, you know, can we talk, because I can hear the anger in your voice, but I know as soon as I say it, get her out of here, because now I brought something up that you don't want people to know. So a lot of these people that are doing this, they don't want you to know they hurt. They don't want you to know they're angry. So when you start going in that direction, who hurt you? I know it sounds insulting, but I really mean that sometimes. Like, who hurt you to make you be so angry? I've literally watched people come on the live and say, hey girl, you look good. Don't you say that. That's what I'm talking about. Y'all women are all, what in the world? What happened?
Mm-hmm. All right, everybody getting this same alert, I think.
No, I'm in North Carolina. I'll get it in a minute.
This is what happened when you go live. So I love this conversation. I think Charlene actually in the she commented and said they'll be quick on their block game when you disagree or challenge. Absolutely. And
Absolutely.
so sometimes I'm slow or hesitant to challenge, because I don't want to be blocked from the room. Because on the other side of things, you kind of want to know where people who are that angry, I want to know where they are in their head, because that's a dangerous space to be in. So I don't want to be caught off guard. You know what I'm saying? Because I've gone in some of these lives and they've talked about somebody knocked at their door because of a back and forth conversation on a platform. Like, have we become so, I don't know what the word is, but we're holding on too tight if that's all it takes,
right,
for me to want to go and physically do something to somebody. That means that we got a lot of stuff going on that we got to get out. I mean, I encourage people to go talk to somebody, even if it's a friend, and say, look, I'm triggered by all of this. I'm always angry, because you hear yourself first. If you hear yourself fussing all the time, like, and I've been there, I'm confessing, I've been in spaces where it was like, why am I always fussing? Why am I always complaining? And then I have to check myself, like, okay, Lisa.
Because sometimes it's not everybody else. Sometimes it's something within you. It's not everybody else that's the problem. Maybe you need to look in the mirror, do self-evaluation. It's like, all right, now, clearly, I can't be having issues with everybody. It must be me.
You know, that only comes to me with self-awareness. And unfortunately, I feel like self-awareness is not as common as I would like for it to be. And I'm not saying that in a bad way, because I wasn't always self-aware. And those are those moments when you're like, no, I'm not. Or, I mean, I wasn't being mean, but it takes a minute for you to sit back and look at you. As El Michelle said, sometimes you practicing in the mirror. When you get in that mirror, who do you see? You see you. Now, you can deny all day long what you ain't looking at, but when you keep putting that mirror in your face, you see you. Okay. So the flaws, the reactions, the what do they call it? The reactions to things. Have you ever tried to have you listened to things and then it affected you? in that mirror, you didn't even realize that it was triggering you, but literally your face was changing and you were internalizing that. And I think a lot of times on those platforms, that's happening to a lot of people. But they're scared to say it because everyone is attacking everybody. So if you put your hand up and say, I've been feeling like that lately, now you're going to be attacked. So instead, people just hide their hands. And then they get angry because they weren't able to let it out. And then they go on these platforms where I can sit in my room all alone and I can get on the computer and then I can talk about everybody who made me angry. And you might be talking to somebody that had nothing to do with it, but the anger was just drew them in. And now you got a second person that wants to vent and talk about everybody who hurt them, instead of us trying to figure out how do we deal with that pain within ourselves so that no matter what anybody says to you, you're going to be okay. But this was just so important to me to talk about because I'm triggered in a way where I want to say something. Like, you know, that's my triggers. Like when I go into some of these spaces, I'm like, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
What are we getting out of this? What is the end result? Yes, you're getting it out, but it still has to be an end game. So that's what I'm trying to get to. Like, what Sheree, what ideas do you have or suggestions or thoughts on how do we get past this divide? It's so much anger between, especially in relationships, which is sad because there's a strength in that, but it's so much anger there. Like, how do we get past that?
I don't know, other than therapy. I think everybody just need to go. I feel like if you feel it to a point where you're not ready to speak to other people online, especially on those lives, when you know there's going to be people out there that are going to be negative, it's okay to get off a live. I was just on a live yesterday and it was a cleaning live. I like watching those people clean up their house and do everything. And the girl was like, I think it was like 600 folks inside the room. She was mad because nobody was talking really. And I don't understand why folks in here, they're not going to speak. And we got 600 people in here. And she was really going off on people and blocking people for not speaking. And I'm just like, you're on social media. I get it. You must want the world to know that you're there and that you're going to call out. You're not even calling out everybody's name. So I was like, well, what's the purpose? Like, but I think that one, like, get off alive if you're not feeling up to it, right? And then number two is like, people need to do those self-evaluations. Like, granted, I think some people just do things for the views. They're gonna keep on yapping because they want more folks to come into the room. Just like, well, I was about to say somebody's name, but let me not say people's names. But on certain lives, you know, people can get people in the rooms. How can I say this?
Charlene said they need a mental check and to take their meds. That's what she said.
Listen, I'm telling you. I mean, really?
Yeah.
And then I feel like a lot of you have impersonators online. People who are acting like they're the big Joe with the big leagues, and they're just living a lie online. Because you know, social media, you could be whoever you want it, who you want to be.
That part.
You can make up a career. You can make up a full lie. Okay. and rise on that lie until you make it, okay? That's true. I feel like lots of people, I think social media could be a great thing as well as it could be a negative thing. I think there are beautiful social media platforms and lives where they encourage you, they give you, you learn a lot. I feel like I've learned so much on TikTok. I'm like, wait a minute, how did I not know that? You know, I think it's a great learning tool, but at the same time, I also think like some of y'all tripping.
Well, some of y'all lunching.
Yeah, lunching.
Yeah, because look, Charlene says some are in denial that they have some serious issues deeper than the public can know. I agree. And I think that on some level, putting that mic in your hand and going before everybody and starting a conversation is kind of their way of therapy. The issue is though, social media therapy, But the problem is that you're controlling the narrative. So it's like going into the therapist's office, but you the therapist.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're the therapist going into the therapist's office, how far are we going to get with any kind of growth and help here? Because if you're the only person that's helping you, then Houston, we have a problem. And I think a lot of people, especially with these keyboards and these computers, it gives you access to the world in a, like you said, a wonderful way. But if you're not,
it can be deadly. It can be vicious, deadly, and everything.
You've just exposed all of you to everybody, and you're a danger to other people who aren't healed either. You know what I'm saying?
But Lisa, I think that could go both ways, though. It could be dangerous, but then it also can be, hey, that was me.
Absolutely.
And if she can make it, but then also you got to tell how you got through. I get it all the time. Like when I remember when I was talking from one of my books, and I was going through some major issues, and I was hesitant to talk, but then I rather had to say, I am, a domestic violence survivor, but I'm also an abuser. Okay. And I had to come to realities that if Lisa can't control from going from 0 to 1,000, I need to know that she's already at 10. She's already, and I had those boundaries, and then it had made me think, am I talking to people hard? So I started going to therapy, and I told folks, go to therapy. And the folks that tell you to stay away from it, stay away from them. I don't care if it's your mom and your dad, your sister, your brother, your best friend, your pastor. I don't care who it is. Go to therapy because it saved my life. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? They were like, how dare you? I said, no, I'm not going to sit here and be a hypocrite. You know what I'm saying? And hide behind the mask, and I'm going through, because we've seen the fall of many men and women that done this, and they're living a lie in a sense, but not telling the truth. I can say, and I can say, hey, my name's Annette, and I go 12 steps to blah, blah, blah. If I'm going to do that, I'm going to be transparent and tell you, I have to work on me. I'm not perfect. I don't try to be perfect, but you got folks that are just so perfect. They walk on water and they just levitate to the camera.
Well, wait a minute though.
You know what I'm saying? Just be real about it.
That's what they want you to think, right?
Say it again.
That's what they want you to think, because as soon as that ring light goes off, they're crying, they're in pain. Life is totally different. So I agree with you. I think there's so much to gain from this computer love world. But at the same time, I know, right? But it comes with such a huge responsibility,
it does.
That I think gets missed more often than not. So I think that there are a lot of people out there trying to do good things in the world. And like Henrietta said, you can be a change agent, which is, part of what I want to be for the lessons I've learned, because I've had a lot of people.
I like that, change agent. Hashtag.
Yeah, it's wonderful, because when I bring people on the show, I'm listening. I'm engaged because I'm open to hearing what somebody else has to say. I want to throw an example at them, because we all are growing every day. We're growing. Yeah. But the danger is when you open that door up, not only are you getting all the healing, but you're also getting all this hate. And if you're not in a place where you can balance it and block out some of it, because I'm here to tell you, there's some things that I see out there on these platforms, and it's hard to block it out because it angers me. So when I see it angers me that people are so fired up about stuff that sometimes don't even have nothing to do with them. Like, you're really upset, and you can tell this is bothering you when you get off this live. Okay, you trying to act like this is a topic of discussion, but this was bothering you long before you pushed the live button.
Or Lisa, or have your mentor watch you on somebody else's live and hit you up and say, because I had one to pull me to the side. He said, I know you got great conversation, and that was some good topics. He said, and I know you could be ratchet as hell if you want to be, excuse me, I didn't mean to say that, but if I take you to a board meeting, what are you going to say? I said, ooh. He said, matter of fact, let me put you on live because I want to see your face. So I zoomed, inboxed him. And he said, no, don't look. I said, He said, so pick and choose who shows you want to be on and pick and choose your conversation. But if I want to carry you to a board meeting, are you going to talk about this? Because I was always told when I first started that you could get away with, oh, damn, kind of get away with it. Oh, hell, what the hell? Depends on your conversation. But all that blah, blah, this and this and this. No, that's not what time, because I'm trying to shine a spotlight on somebody. Somebody sowed a seed in me. I can't come on your show and start talking all ratchet and blah, 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 because that's not who you are. So you have to pick your battles and watch. And I got to get ready to go because something's happening out in my neighborhood, my complex. But I remember I was at my choir anniversary, and I had two pastors of two major churches come up to me and say, you said something. You might not have seen me, but you said something and changed my life.
Wow.
I went back, but because I could have went home.
Right.
But because I wanted to sing, I came back, and then I said, we all started out really as nothing. They go pastors and producers and authors. Whole women, that's me. Talk to whole women, that's me. And I'm just looking at everybody that is now doing something. But like I said, you never know who's watching you. And it's something, I don't remember what I said. She just said it changed your life, but you a pastor of a major church. Right. And I said something changed your life, but I didn't know that she was watching.
Right.
So sometimes that really does do something for me. But I'm gonna leave y'all on this note. Hey, had a conversation in the mirror, and I almost thought I was gonna fight, but it wasn't gonna turn out well because I was in the mirror fighting myself, and I'm sitting there like, I can't believe you talking to me like that. But it's a reality check.
I love that you're about to fight you. Like, I'm mad with you.
I was like, and I told somebody, it wasn't gonna turn out well. They were like, I'm dumb enough to sit here and listen to you say that, but I had that conversation too. Girl, ain't that something? I'm ready to fight myself in the mirror, and the mirror was getting in my stuff. But that's a reality, Jess, when you are humble of yourself, that you can have a conversation and you hear yourself or the voice of God saying, you're wrong, or that you need to do this, this, and this.
Absolutely.
But I love you, ladies. I'll catch you.
Thank you so much for joining us. Absolutely. We appreciate you always. So
love you. We'll talk soon. I do gotta talk to you about something. And I would love to connect with you, my dear. And I thought I was going crazy when I saw something keep flying past your head, but I'm gonna go.
My daughter is moving around in the back. I saw it too, and I was like, wait a minute.
Did you see how Lisa stayed focused? Because I know she stayed focused.
I'm like, yo, what is that?
I'm like this. Am I saying something? But Lisa, you good, Lisa, because you stay focused. You stay raised the character, girl. Made me feel like I was crazy. But love you guys. Lisa, we'll talk soon.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. From North Carolina, thank you so much. She is always supporting. We get some great comments. Henrietta says, separate yourself, self-care, focus and opportunity is available, and absolutely be an example setter. I love that. Better in the mirror. Look, a lot of people avoid that mirror. I'm just going to say, you got to be ready. I'm just saying, you got to be ready to see what's actually in the mirror. Because sometimes people ain't ready to see them. I told y'all a long time ago when COVID hit, I said, people got stuck in the house with themselves. And then it was a different story. Like, oh, I didn't know I was like that.
Yeah. And so many relationships ended. It was divorces.
That was that self-check thing. And I think, and that's another period that drew everybody to the computer. Yeah. And it was a great thing because you could still kind of manage business, do things. But like I say, along with that comes a responsibility. And I think, while everybody was turning the camera on and going live, there was no rule book on how do we do this so that we don't start to trigger other people, because now I can expose my feelings, my happiness, my sadness, my anger, my meanness. I can expose myself in those spaces to a whole lot of people, adults, children, older people, the like. And you can't control how all of those people receive what you're putting out there. And it would be awful to feel like that you went out there on a rant one day, or you started a live group and found out that somebody dipped into your live, heard a conversation, maybe misunderstood, or didn't get the full context, or didn't even understand that you were just having a bad day,
Mm-hmm.
and decided to do something permanently to affect their entire life.
Mm-hmm.
Because we go and so I even encourage people who are on these computers going live in an effort to spread more love and not hate, is to make sure that you are in a good space before you hit that button. And then
Right.
to what El Michelle said, make other people on your live accountable. I know we're doing shows and we have people that have differences of opinion, but you have to have some kind of boundaries for people to understand that you may go over here and y'all can say whatever you want to say, but on this platform over here, there's certain things we don't do. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
we not do, that's not this platform. Not saying that there's a space for somebody for that, but I think that everybody just let everybody do what they want to do. And to me, that says a lot about you too, because you don't have any boundaries. Because I can't
Mm-hmm.
sit in a room and let certain things go on and not say anything.
Right.
That's one reason why, okay, all jokes aside, I came off that subway train because you see young people taunting old people and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that what I'm made of is like, hey, you don't disrespect your elders. But I also know that they're doing a lot of things to hurt people just for speaking up.
Yep.
So I had to make some conscious decisions because I can't control. And I know I shouldn't say this as the power shut up queen, but there's some things that I can't tolerate in my space. And it's like you disrespect is just one of those things.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm so glad that we had a chance to kind of talk about this
Mm-hmm.
because I just think it's important, and it's probably a regular message that we should put out there. So, I mean, I thank you, Shariva, for, if you all don't know, a lot of times when I'm going live, Shariva's behind the scenes, making sure things are moving and grooving behind the scenes. So thank you so much. But I'm glad that I surrounded myself with people who are of that same positive mindset. And you do need that accountability partner, which I think my team is for me and me for them, where if I'm going too far overboard, which they probably would say not Lisa, because I'm usually not pushing the envelope too much, but we want to make it interesting, of course,
Mm-hmm.
but I also want to make it meaningful. And that's why I like to open up my platforms as well for people to come on board and share their thoughts. I think that, thank you, Charlene, Henrietta, Michelle, El Michelle, all of you all for tuning in. Continue to share this. I would love to hear people's thoughts about what's going on out here in this computer world. Because even Shariva and myself, we actually have different audiences that we hit, but we still have to be mindful. Because Shariva, you're dealing in the lane of saving money and saving pockets, but you also have to be mindful too that, and on your platforms, you keep in mind that there are people who are seriously struggling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's the compassion that you have for saying, look, I'm trying to help you. I don't want you going out there and spending all your last earned money to do this and that, the other, because some people coming because they might be desperate. Like, look,
Yep.
my light's about to be turned off. I got to figure something out.
Mm-hmm.
And with me and Lunching with Lisa, I mean, I want to help people in any way I can. I'm also helping me to just learn more, be a better person every day. But I also have to be mindful that some of the topics, I'm going to have to touch them, graciously. I'm going to have to be mindful of what people share in their own opinions, that it's clear, okay, people are watching, people grab onto things. People that don't have anything grab onto everything. So I just want us to be more responsible out here in this world. I think that computer love is wonderful, but unfortunately with computer love comes computer hate. And hate, I'm seeing a lot of that out there.
Mm-hmm.
So for everybody who's out there, whether it's TikTok land, Instagram land, Twitter land, Facebook land, I just ask my fellow people out here that are doing videos, going live, holding rooms, having conversations. Conversation is a good thing, but with that comes responsibility. So I just ask everybody to be responsible with their words. to be responsible and think of others. It really does come with a sense of empathy. But this computer hate has to stop. I would love to do this again. Sharif, and I'm thinking maybe, every now and then we need to pop in here and just check the temperature of this internet world. But right now, the hate is hot.
Yeah.
It's hot. And I couldn't take it no more. And without getting into that heat, because they seem that everybody comes for everybody, don't say this to me. On some level, I was like, look, I have to take accountability too. If I see something that's not flowing well, I need to say something.
Yeah.
What are your last thoughts before we go into a fun TikTok moment, or an inspiring, should I say, TikTok moment? And maybe we can share before in the next couple of minutes something funny that's happened to us over the weekend to kind of lighten the mood, because we got to get rid of some of this computer hate going on. But Shariva, what are your thoughts on just what you would like for people out here in this internet world to do going forward?
I would say folks should just go seek therapy. And woosah. You don't have to take everything so seriously.
That's true.
Sometimes it's just everybody's their opinion. Okay, good.
Everybody has one, right?
I tell my mother all the time, you just gotta let things roll off your back like butter. Like lots of things people say, oh, Shriva, you should be upset. I'm just like, why? Because at the end of the day, I'll be the one angry. Everybody else be fine. So you just gotta detox yourself from all the negativity.
So look at Shariva exercising her power of shut.
I don't have time for it.
Oh, because that's my hashtag. Ain't nobody got time for that. Yeah. So that's really what it is. And here's the thing: when people say hateful things, call you out your name, whatever it is, if that's not who you are,
why are you responding?
Then don't answer to it. If somebody says Tracy and Lisa's my name, why am I turning around? My name's not Tracy. So, answer to who you are. If it's not you, because if you think about it, if you're answering to it, something is resonating with what they're saying. So think about that. If you ain't call your name, what you turning around for? Now, if you call my name and 4 of us turn around, I'm gonna need somebody to use their middle name or last name so I know who you're talking to. But this has been really, really fun. But Shariva, let's show them a quick TikTok moment that's going to that's right, be you, do you, because nobody does it better. Okay, they can do a lot of things, but they can't be you better than you. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's the truth. But we're going to show you a TikTok moment that I'm hoping will inspire you into the weekend, into next month. Remember, next month is Women's History Month, I believe. We're going to have some wonderful guests come on board, and we're going to talk about Women's History Month. As a matter of fact, we're going to take a couple minutes and do a Black History moment with Luncheon with Lisa, and then a TikTok moment before we say goodnight. Welcome to another Luncheon with Lisa Black History moment. Tonight we honor Sylvia Traymore Morrison. If you all don't know her, she's America's first African-American female impressionist in the history of this country. Sylvia Traymore Morrison is one of the first solo artists to tour and open for Whitney Houston in over 20 major U.S. cities. Morrison's career in Hollywood is legendary. For more information on how she's been a trailblazer in the world of comedy and on stages everywhere, please visit her website at www.sylviaohyeah.com. And this is another Luncheon with Lisa Black History moment. Shout out to Sylvia.
To do something that he hasn't already prepared and equipped you for. Oftentimes we'll quit on doing something because we feel like we're not qualified. We feel like we don't have what it takes. We feel like it's too much for us. Like, how can God choose me? Like, it's me. And God is like, yeah, you are the one I want. It is so many other people that God can choose to do what it is that you are doing. It is so many other people that God can call to do the thing that's tugging at your heart. But He looked down on you and He said, nope, I want that one right there. Because that one is the one that's going to carry out this mission. That one is the one that these people need. That one is the answer to somebody's question. That one is the solution to somebody's problem. So we have to quit self-sabotaging, and we have to quit giving up because we feel like it's too hard. It ain't gonna be easy. Nobody ever said it was gonna be easy. God didn't promise us that it was gonna be easy, but He did promise us that if we are in His will, if we are doing the thing that He called us to do, if we keep Him first, if we keep the faith in Him, then He gonna always come through for us, and He gonna always make sure that we excel at whatever position that He puts us in.
Now, if that's not a word to take you into the weekend and into next week, that's something to hold on tight. Put that in your vote. But I want to wish everybody a wonderful weekend. Please, if you're in the DMV area, come out to the Black History Family Day. It's going to be a lot of fun. When we went before COVID came, there were kids, there were families. They put on some wonderful performances. So please come out there and join us for a fun day and to celebrate Black History Month. So I think the next time we see you all, I think it'll be the last day of the month, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure. But I wanted to tell you, she said, that's computer love. Now, Charlene, you are right. Now that TikTok moment is absolutely computer love. So we're looking for more of that kind of message across these platforms and less of the hate out there. So thank you all so much for tuning in. We look forward to see you next Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But until next time, thank you.
You guys.